Now here, before I start the summary, I will just, as I told you about the author David Diop. Now through this poem, Africa, David Diop wants to reflect his hope for an independent African nation and the problems which is brought to the continent, that is to the continent of Africa, by colonialism. Okay, now through this poem, Diop attempts to give a message of hope and resistance to the people of Africa. Right, so now I will explain to you the poem. You can look into your book. I will read out the poem first and then I will explain you the poem. So look into your books. Africa. Africa, my Africa. Africa of proud warriors in ancestral savannas. Africa of whom my grandmother sings on the banks of the distant river. I have never known you, but your blood flows in my vein, your beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields. So now here in the first 7 lines, what did the poet want to say? The poet said that the poet starts the poem by remembering about Africa, a land that he has not seen yet. He has not seen because here he was born in France and he has spent his childhood also in France. So a land which he has not seen, but only he has heard about the land from his grandmother's song. And his, you can see from in the poem, his choices of word like distant. Okay, now this word distant itself symbolizes the distance, that how far he is from the country. Okay, and a feeling. Okay, a feeling which is, this poem is actually a feeling which is based on the real life, as he lived in France throughout the childhood, right? And only he wished that he could visit Africa, and after 1950 he visited Africa. So this is a real life story, you can say, which has been put forth as a poem, or you can say it is a real life based feeling, okay, of the poet, which he has put it through his poem. Now here in the, as I was continuing now, despite of so many things, that he has not visited the place, he was just remembering the country of Africa through his grandmother's song. He has made one imagination. He has made one imaginary picture of Africa from the words which he has, from the songs which he has heard from his grandmother. He has made an imaginary picture, as well as he had made. He was proud about the warriors, right, who walk on the ancestral savannas. Now you can sense from this, you can sense how much he was missing his homeland. Okay, homeland Africa, by the word that he's stressing the word of Africa by saying it as my Africa. Okay, he is emphasizing on the word my Africa, and this shows that this emphasizes that it is his land, the poet's land, and his feelings of patriotism towards it. We come to the next part of the poem, the next 2 lines. Now he continues to say in this poem, he continues to talk that he has never known Africa, because he was born in France. Till 1950 he did not know Africa, but despite of the distance, okay, but despite of the distance, he cannot deny how much he was a part of them. Okay, how much Africa was a part of him. The beautiful black blood, he's talking now about the blood, the beautiful black blood which is there in his vein, right, and which is flowing in his vein itself. It describes his African descent, and shows how much Africa is a part of him and his love for it, and the people of Africa. Now the next lines are the lines through which the poet is trying to show his anger. Okay, and he's accusing accusing, as he is stressing on the words blood and sweat of the people, which is being irrigated in the fields for the benefits of others. Others means the people under whom your Africa was a slave, right? So now we now look into your book, page number 20, page number 37. I will read the next part of the poem. What is given there? The blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work, the work of your slavery, the slavery of your children. Africa, tell me, Africa, is this you? Is this you, this back that is bent, this back that breaks under the weight of humiliation, this back trembling with red scars? Right. So now here what the poet is telling, the poet is talking about blood and sweat. The blood and their sweat, the sweat of their work, the work of their slavery, and the slavery of their children. Right. Now this has been said as an enriched land, because Africa was an enriched land, enriched the distance land. By this he is pointing a finger at the colonialist, right, who have exploited the black people, who have black people means African people, who have exploited the black people and used them as slaves, right, to earn profit from their hard labor, right. Therefore the poet wants to know what the wants us to know, the wants us means we are the readers, wants the readers to know what the real Africa is. Right. Now the poet urges, means the poet is requesting the black people to stand up to the pain and the humiliation that they are suffering in their own land, that they should protest, they should oppose against the torture which is there in their own land. He reminds them of the strength and pride they have in them, and to say no to whip of the colonialist, which is making them work under the hot midday sun. It's very hot in Africa, and they are working like slaves. They are working very hard under this colonialist, and it is leaving scars, and this heat is leaving scars on their backs, but still they are working, right, because they are slaves. Despite this suffering, he urges them to be strong. The poet is telling them, you need to be strong and remain unbent, okay, and not let this break them despite the weight of their suffering. So in spite you, although you're suffering, but you should not break down before the colonialist, and you should not they should not be able to treat us wrong. Come to the next part of the poem. The next part of the poem reads, this back trembling with red scars and saying yes to the weep under the midday sun, but a grave voice answers me, impetuous son, that tree young and strong, that tree there in splendid loneliness amidst white and faded flowers, that is Africa, your Africa, that grows again patiently, obstinately, and its fruit gradually acquires the bitter taste of liberty. So here the poet's earnest request, okay, the poet's earnest request, earnest query is answered by a grave voice. Okay, suddenly one voice comes, and the voice is answering the questions which is there in the poet's mind, which the poet is asking. The poet here personifies the African continent as a angry elder. Okay, the wise voice of Africa chides him for thinking impetuous thoughts. You're implying that the continent is aware of impending changes or revolution. It urges the Africans to be patient and not hasty like children as there is change in the horizon. Now what happened? The voice talks about a tree which is found alone. Okay, the tree is found alone amidst white and faded flowers. But the tree young and strong represents the young people of Africa. Now the poet is talking about the young people of Africa who are patiently but obediently waiting until they get liberty they want. They are not going to they are not going to your feel themselves. They would stand against uh, them and would gain their liberty. At the moment the tree is alone, meaning that the African struggle is a lonely battle, but they will achieve the freedom. Ultimately they will achieve the freedom and liberty they want, no matter how bitter the how bitter the taste be. Even if it is bitter, they are not bothered. They will face the consequence and they will get the liberty. The tree is among the white and the faded flowers, by which it means that the white colonist will fade in time, right? While the youthful Africans will grow in strength and wait for the moment of freedom. They will fight, and they will wait for them to achieve freedom. So this is all about the poem. So you can just go through the poem. Any doubt, you can get back to me.